What's up, guys? The Angry Dipper here. Today we're going to be taking a look at my controller. We're going to be talking a little bit about some of the modification I've done to it and some of your options when it comes to modifying your controller. Obviously, in my hand, we've got a controller for the Xbox One S. This is one of my personal controllers. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. Guys, here it is. This is the Xbox One S controller in white. As you can see right off the bat, we've got two modifications on this controller that are not factory. They are these bad boys right here, and these bad boys right here. Now, a little brief description. These red things on the analog sticks are called Kontrol Freeks. If you're not familiar with what Kontrol Freeks are, essentially, if you're playing a first-person shooter like Call of Duty, you know, where you're doing a lot of aiming, a lot of shooting, and you need to be able to make precise movements and precise adjustments to your accuracy, the added height on the stick, in theory, adds a little bit more of a range of motion, so it's a little bit easier to make those adjustments when aiming downrange, especially when you're playing on a higher sensitivity. You will find later on in this video, though, that I've actually found these to do a few other things that were not mentioned, and again, these are just my personal findings using these. It's different for everybody, but I will go further in depth with what my opinion on these are and what I've noticed an improvement of. The second thing are these Bionic grips here on the side. Again, made by a company called Bionic. The interesting thing about these are they are rubberized, so you've got a little bit of an extra grip here on the side. And you've also got this orange switch here, which locks your triggers in place. And again, that reduces the range of motion of the trigger. Without it locked, you can see the whole trigger goes the full way down, so it's pretty much sitting flush. But with the lock, it stops a little bit shorter. And again, this is another one of those parts that when I put on the controller, I noticed it doing something different than what you would expect. Alright guys, taking a look at the Kontrol Freeks with Bionic grips here from the aerial view. First off, cosmetically, these things are absolutely stellar. I think they look absolutely awesome on this controller. These are the FPS Infernos, which are obviously red, with a nice little twisty design, and they are concave. So there is a little bit of an indentation in the top of the analog stick. And as far as Bionic grips go, I think they also look great cosmetically. It's nice to switch it up a bit from the normal white. Another thing I will note right off the bat that I do like about the Bionic grips is that because of the switch, you don't always have to have the locks engaged, which is great if you're playing other games. Alright, so they look awesome cosmetically, but how's the performance? Kontrol Freeks markets these to reduce fatigue over long periods of play, you know, competitive play, tournament play. Maybe you're somebody who sits down, you play for 3 or 4 hours a day. These are designed to be able to be more comfortable and reduce fatigue on the hands. I'll start off with the pros. Aside from cosmetics, I have noticed that they are generally more comfortable than the regular sticks that come with the controllers. This is because there's a rubber that's used that's a little bit of a softer rubber on the Kontrol Freeks. So naturally, they do feel more comfortable in the hands and a little softer. Another thing I'll note is as your hands start to sweat, because of the kind of plastic/rubber combo that's used in the analog sticks normally, it can actually cause the sticks to be a little bit slick. I've noticed that even when my hands sweat with the Kontrol Freeks, because it's such a cushiony, soft rubber, that I haven't noticed any slippage due to sweat, you know, compared to the normal sticks. Another pro is it has helped me be able to increase my sensitivity. I've always been a low sensitivity player. There are a lot of people out there that play on a lower sensitivity that might want to play on a higher sensitivity, but you know they learned, they've been playing for years on a lower sensitivity. So if you're somebody who might be looking to increase your sensitivity and not hurt too much as far as accuracy goes, this might be another great option for you. Those are the two biggest pros in my book. Now to the cons. One big con is there's going to be a pretty massive learning curve when you first get these within the first week. It took me about 3 days to get used to using these, and those 3 days were absolutely atrocious, and I saw my KD pretty much plummet. So don't expect to get these right out of the box, never having used them before, and just go right back into your normal routine in the game. It is going to take you a little while to get used to these. Another con is once you play with these and you get used to playing with these, it's going to be very hard to adjust back to a normal controller with normal sticks. And another con that I have to note is I have found some issues with longer distance shooting when you're not using a higher powered optic like on a sniper rifle or an ACOG or something like that. Again, I'm not used to higher sensitivity, so I'm sure that plays a factor in it, but I have noticed that it is a little bit hard to fine-tune longer distance shooting. It's better for CQC and mid-range engagements. Now the bionic grips, what's the deal with these? So the bionic grips actually,
Friendly scarab active.
really honestly, I've got some different results out of using the bionic grips. The biggest one is a lot of people would expect that with the bionic grips, semi-automatic guns would be a little bit quicker because it would require less pressure and less distance for the trigger to travel for you to be able to release shots. I've actually found that when you're aiming down the scope of a rifle, as you can see me doing here, when you release the aim button, when you release the left trigger, it actually gets out of the optic immediately. Whereas if you aren't using the trigger lock, there's about a half a second or just a split second of a pause before you back out of the optic. So I've actually found that if you're in close quarters combat and you're engaging targets, when you release the left trigger, you instantly the gun lowers and you're ready to fire again. That's been the biggest benefit to the bionic triggers. The only con I can think of is when I bought them, I thought maybe it would increase my semi-automatic weapon fire rate, but it really hasn't done that. But I have found those to be very useful in close quarters combat and aiming downrange with a sniper rifle. So, quick recap for you guys. The Kontrol Freeks, they look great. They're a lot more comfortable, and it's allowed me to increase my sensitivity. Those are the biggest things I noticed. The cons, massive learning curve, and once you play with them, you can never really go back to them. And I've had some interesting issues with longer range shooting. As far as bionic grips go, I was hoping for some increased semi-automatic, weapon fire rate or, a little bit more trigger response, and I really haven't gotten that. But one of the biggest things with the bionic grips that, in my opinion, is totally worth the money is how fast you can get out of the optic. And this is so important when you're in close quarters especially, and you've got, whether it's gun game or, it's free-for-all or domination even, where you've got large amounts of people in one area and you have to be able to snap from target to target. It is so, that split second that it saves you, lowering the weapon when you have to go from aiming down range to hip firing, you'll notice it when it happens, and it just makes this product completely and 100% worth the money. And as far as the Kontrol Freeks go, $14.99. It's a little up there in price, but I definitely think that it adds some personality to your controller. I think it does help you be able to play at a higher sensitivity, and I really can't say I've seen a massive improvement just based on the Kontrol Freeks by themselves, but I have definitely noticed a more comfortable gaming experience. So if you're somebody who's looking to increase your sensitivity, still be able to make some fine-tuned adjustments while playing in the game, the Kontrol Freeks are probably great for you. If you're somebody who is already pretty deadly accurate and you already are playing at a stupid high sensitivity, then the Kontrol Freeks might not be the right route for you to go unless you're looking for something as far as comfort goes. If you're somebody who's looking to improve your close quarters combat, then the bionic grip is an excellent route to go. If you're somebody who's looking for an increased semi-automatic fire rate, and that's the only reason you're looking at the bionic grip, you are going to be sadly disappointed. But not saying maybe there's not a slight semi-automatic fire rate increase, but it's definitely not like, a mod pack where you can practically, a quarter second between shots. It's nothing like that. But as I mentioned, you know, it is very useful in close quarters combat. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see anything else, drop a comment. And I am not sponsored by any of the companies that you see in this video today. This is just my raw opinion, so hopefully I was able to shed some light, keep it short and sweet for you guys, and I was able to give you guys some good information. Alright guys, thanks for checking out the video. If you've got any comments or questions, anything like that, be sure to drop them in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. We got plenty more videos coming. If you guys want to see anything, be sure to drop it in the comments. Let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what you guys are into, what you guys like. Far Cry 5 is coming out, guys. Far Cry 5 is coming out. I'm hoping to do some videos on that. So if you guys have any ideas, be sure to drop them in the comments. The Angry Dipper, signing out.
That part. Bang this shit in the hood one time, little bitch, I'm back and poppin'. Tell that ugly bitch